Hello, welcome to the channel Wise Stories. Enjoy watching.
She is here for my happiness, and you are the servant. You'll wash, clean, and cook for us. But at that time, her husband had no idea what was coming. Monica Ramirez had never lacked male attention. She always had admirers of all ages and social statuses. In fact, she was spoiled by it. Yet, her heart remained free, and no one had succeeded in making her fall head over heels in love. Her parents and friends kept hinting that it was time to think about marriage, but Monica was not about to marry just because it was expected. Besides, her age still allowed her the luxury of waiting for the one. And finally, she found him. They met at a friend's party. He was a charming, interesting young man. Monica couldn't pinpoint exactly what drew her to Federico, but as they say, she fell hard and fast. At 27, Monica fell in love like a 15-year-old, deeply and seriously. Within 2 weeks, Federico had moved his belongings into Monica's apartment. He didn't have his own place and had been renting, so they decided to live together in her home. Monica was on cloud nine. She delighted Federico with surprises, gave him thoughtful gifts, organized romantic dinners, and basked in love. Federico accepted it all gratefully. The only things he gave her in return were his love, attention, and occasional flowers. Monica was the leader and the one bringing variety to their relationship. Federico was content as things were. He liked her, had warm feelings for her, and enjoyed her company. No other girlfriend had ever done such things for him before. However, he didn't particularly value these gestures and saw them as part of Monica's temperament, simply enjoying the ride. Monica introduced Federico to her parents and all her friends, proudly announcing that she had finally found her man, the best and most beloved. Her parents were pleased, happy to see their daughter in love at last. Parents can sense their children's emotions, and they saw that Monica was genuinely happy. Her friends congratulated her on this new chapter of life. Some of her male friends looked at Federico with envy, wondering how he had managed to win the heart of the untouchable beauty, Monica. Only Monica's best friend, Dominica, didn't approve of her choice. "I don't think he loves you," Dominica told her. "Come on, of course he does." "I can feel it," Monica countered. "You don't see how he acts when it's just the two of us. But I see how he acts in public. He ogles every woman around. Doesn't that bother you at all?" "Don't be ridiculous. All men do that." "Do they? Staring at every woman in sight without caring that their girlfriend is right there? Don't make me laugh. I'd have slapped my man for that kind of behavior," Dominica admitted bluntly. "You know the saying, work up an appetite, but eat at home. That's why I don't mind him looking. He loves me." Such blind naivety, Dominica sighed. If a man openly checks out other women in front of you, imagine what he does when you're not around. Monica felt hurt by her friend's words. "You really know how to ruin the mood and sow doubt," Monica hissed through clenched teeth. "But I still love him, and I don't care who he looks at. The important thing is that he's with me." "Monica, I'm not against it. It's your life and your relationship," Dominica replied. "I'm just asking you to come down from the clouds and stay alert. I know guys like him. Later, you'll be the one crying, not him." "I won't cry. Federico loves me, and I love him. That's all that matters. And I trust him." All right. I sincerely hope your trust doesn't backfire on you." Monica and Federico lived together for 6 months. One morning, Monica woke up feeling unwell, nauseous, and dizzy. "You should see a doctor, you never know," her beloved suggested with concern. "Ugh, no way. I'm not running to the doctor over something trivial," Monica retorted. "I hate going to the hospital. Nobody likes it, but sometimes it's necessary." Monica looked at Federico. How caring and attentive he was, worried about her well-being. Could someone like him ever betray or cheat? She still remembered Dominica's words. "All right, will you come with me?" "Of course, I'll always be by your side," Federico replied, wrapping his arm around her waist. "I love you." Those words sounded like the sweetest melody. Monica savored the moment. "Okay, I'll make an appointment and let you know." The next day, Monica went to the doctor with Federico by her side. The doctor found no visible issues and recommended tests. The results revealed that Monica was pregnant. Everyone was overjoyed. Almost everyone. "So soon?" Federico asked. "I thought we'd live for ourselves a little longer before having kids. But if it's happened, then it's fine." Monica felt hurt, as if she were planning to adopt a stray kitten rather than have a baby. Federico immediately noticed her downcast expression and rushed to apologize. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I'm happy, really. It's just so unexpected. We never even discussed this." "Yeah, we didn't. But since we weren't using protection, it's logical that this could happen." "True, of course. Let's get married, then." They were sitting at the kitchen table, Federico on a chair and Monica on the couch. She looked at him questioningly. This wasn't how she had imagined a proposal. Not at all. He proposed to her as casually as if he were asking her to go buy bread, no flowers, no emotion, no genuine excitement. But Monica, who dreamed of being with the man she loved, swallowed her disappointment. After all, it was just decor. The most important thing was that they would be together. A month later, they got married. The wedding was modest and small, with few guests, but Monica was happy. She didn't care about the number of attendees. The most important thing was that he was now her husband and belonged only to her. A week later, they planned to go on their honeymoon. The night before their departure, Monica became very ill. It wasn't just nausea, she was vomiting constantly, feeling dizzy, and experiencing severe abdominal pain. At 2 a.m., Federico called an ambulance, and Monica was rushed to the hospital. She had suffered a miscarriage. For Monica, it was a devastating psychological blow. She had dreamed of having this baby. Monica spent 2 days in the hospital, receiving treatment before being sent home. She was deeply emotionally distraught. More than anything, she needed the support of her beloved. But Federico had his own perspective on the situation. A couple of hours after Monica returned home, she lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. "Sweetheart, let's go for a walk in the fresh air. Why stay cooped up in the apartment?" Federico suggested. Seeing Monica's disheartened expression, he quickly added, "I just want you to recover faster and regain your strength. It hurts me to see you like this." Monica stared at her husband in disbelief. "Do you really think that's what I need right now?" "Why not? Fresh air is good for you. We could go to the park if you like." "The park? Are you serious?" "Well, yeah, you like walking there," Federico replied, genuinely confused by her reaction. "The park? Where parents walk with their children. Are you joking?" "Oh," Federico finally realized, "I'm sorry. I didn't think about that. I just wanted to take your mind off things." "And you don't have any thoughts? This situation doesn't bother you at all, does it?" "Of course it does. It's not obvious." Monica lay back down and turned to face the wall. She felt twice as hurt. It seemed like she was the only one mourning the loss, while her husband appeared indifferent and ready to move on. But she said nothing more to him except, "I'm not going anywhere. You can go by yourself." Federico lingered by the bed for a moment before leaving the room. Monica's apathy dragged on for about 2 months. Her constant tears and complaints began to wear on her husband. "Listen, I get it," Federico told her one evening. "Losing a child is painful and difficult, but you have to move on." "I am moving on," Monica countered. "Where are you moving? Into a pit?" "Yeah, you're doing a great job of that," he shot back, his tone sharp. "I'm sorry, but I need a wife. A partner. Since you came back from the hospital, we haven't been intimate even once. Is that normal?" I gave you space at first because I understood you needed time to heal, but it's been over 2 months now. How much longer am I supposed to wait? Monica looked at him, stunned. He was right, they hadn't been close in a long time. But what if I don't want to? How do I even tell him that? Federico, I'm sorry, she said. I just haven't thought about it at all. Well, I've thought about it. A lot. In fact, I want it very much. How about we plan for the weekend? Monica suggested hesitantly. It's Tuesday, in case you've forgotten. What's stopping us from doing it now? I'm just not in the mood, she admitted honestly. That's exactly why this is the best remedy for a bad mood, he quipped playfully, moving toward her. Monica watched him in surprise, unprepared for his persistence. Instinctively, she put her hands up, signaling a firm boundary. Federico, I'm not joking. I really don't feel like it right now. Don't you think a loving husband should respect his wife's feelings and wishes? Federico stood in front of her, his gaze intense. It was clear he was starting to get irritated. And shouldn't a loving wife think about her husband's feelings and desires? He retorted. Of course, Monica replied, caught off guard. Then tell me, how have you been thinking about my desires for the past 2 months? Well, Monica trailed off, realizing she had no answer. She genuinely hadn't considered her husband or his needs during this time. A wave of guilt washed over her as she acknowledged how much she'd neglected him. Okay, let's do it tonight, at least, not right now, she offered weakly. But I want it now, Federico insisted. All right. I'll be there soon, Monica said reluctantly and headed to the bathroom. She didn't want to, not even a little. But she couldn't ignore Federico's frustration any longer. Over time, Monica returned to her normal life, and her marriage with Federico stabilized. Everything fell into a routine: work, home, weekends, holidays, and friends. They avoided discussing children. Monica wasn't ready to revisit the topic or emotionally prepared to try again. 2 years passed. Monica was preparing for her milestone birthday. Federico suggested celebrating in grand style at an upscale restaurant. Monica was touched by the attention her husband was putting into organizing the event. By a stroke of luck, her birthday fell on a Saturday, so all the guests were able to attend without difficulty. The party was in full swing, everyone was having fun, chatting, and dancing. Dominica approached the birthday girl. Well, my friend, you're officially all grown up now, she smiled and kissed Monica on the cheek. How long have we known each other? Since 3rd grade? Monica smiled and nodded. Unbelievable. That's over 20 years. Yeah, quite the history, said Dominica, her cheeks flushed from excitement. Where's your dear husband? Oh, he's around here somewhere, chatting with his relatives, I think, Monica answered casually and began scanning the room for Federico. She found him. Federico was dancing with another woman. Monica wasn't surprised to see him dancing, as she knew her husband loved to dance. What surprised her was how he was dancing. Dominica caught sight of the scene as well and could barely contain her indignation. Are you going to tell me this is normal? She asked Monica. Monica's face turned pale, and she seemed to freeze. Hey, don't faint on me now, all right? Dominica said, worried about her friend. But Monica appeared paralyzed by what she had seen. Just then, Federico glanced in her direction, noticed her expression, and quickly stepped away from the other woman. The dance ended, and he hurried back to Monica. Sweetheart, you're not upset that I danced with someone else, are you? He asked, wrapping his arms around her waist. No, but why were you holding her so closely? That's what I don't understand, Monica said, her voice cold. How else are you supposed to dance? It was a slow song, Federico replied, feigning innocence. All right, cut it out, Dominica interjected, her voice sharp. You're treating her like she's stupid. That's not how you dance with another woman, let alone touch her the way you were. We both saw it. Federico shot Dominica a furious look. He had never liked her. Maybe we can figure this out ourselves? Federico hissed through clenched teeth. Without any advisors or helpers. Oh, sure. You'll just feed her some nonsense, and she'll believe it. It's disgraceful to behave like that in front of your lawful wife. Or are you unaware of that? I behaved perfectly fine, first of all. Second, this is none of your business. It is my business, Dominica insisted. She's been my friend for over 20 years, and I won't let anyone hurt her, got it? No one's trying to hurt her, Federico defended himself. I just danced, that's all. Strange. Then why do I feel hurt if you weren't trying to offend me? Monica interjected. Tears welled up in her eyes. Honey, what's wrong? Are you serious? I don't need anyone but you, Federico began pleading. I'd never trade you for anyone else. I really just danced with her, that's all. Monica looked at her husband and smiled. Those eyes can't lie. He really loves me. So what if he danced? Let him dance, Monica thought to herself. Sorry, I must have imagined things, Monica said, leaning her cheek against his chest and hugging him tightly. Dominica was shocked. How could Monica trust him so quickly? She had seen everything with her own eyes, and now Monica was even apologizing to him. A paradox. Truly, love is blind. After the birthday celebration, Monica had a 3-day business trip to another city. She didn't want to go but couldn't refuse. Sweetheart, I'll cook enough food for 3 days. Don't miss me too much. Eat everything you find in the fridge, she instructed her husband. I'll call you to check in. Don't worry, I'll manage. It's just 3 days, not 3 months, Federico said, realizing he'd said something wrong. He quickly added, but I'll still miss you a lot. I'll feel so lonely without you. He approached her and kissed her tenderly. Monica melted instantly. The business trip felt unbearably long. She missed her husband terribly. To surprise him, she changed her ticket and came home 5 hours earlier than planned. Entering the apartment, Monica noticed a strange, sweet and heady scent of perfume. How odd. What is this smell, she thought. Maybe my mother-in-law came over? She likes these kinds of scents. The apartment was empty. Everything was in perfect order, too perfect for Federico. Even the sink was free of dirty dishes. Monica unloaded the groceries she'd bought on the way home into the fridge and went to take a shower. That was always the first thing she did after a trip. In the bathroom, something felt off, but she couldn't pinpoint what. Monica looked around carefully. It seemed like everything was in its proper place. So what was wrong? Then she noticed the pristine white towel hanging where her robe usually was. The towel had traces of bright red lipstick on it. Monica didn't use such shades, and she distinctly remembered replacing the towel before leaving. Her robe hung on the adjacent hook, carrying the same strong perfume scent she'd noticed earlier. This made the situation doubly strange. For one, her mother-in-law would never take her robe without asking. Secondly, it clearly wouldn't fit her. Monica took a shower, but her thoughts were restless. Part of her wanted to call Federico immediately and ask what had gone on in her absence. But another part urged her to calm down and collect her thoughts first. She knew that talking to him while emotional wouldn't end well, he'd just get defensive and angry. When Federico came home from work, Monica decided not to confront him right away. They had dinner together, and later, while lying in bed in a relaxed state, she casually asked, "Sweetheart, tell me, did anyone visit while I was away?" Federico tensed, and Monica noticed it. "No." "Why are you asking?" "It's just." "I found lipstick on a towel," Monica began, but Federico immediately interrupted her. "What are you trying to say? Are you accusing me of something? Cheating? Am I so awful that I can't even go 3 days without my wife and immediately start running around behind your back?" Monica could see his anger building and started scolding herself internally for her suspicions. Federico, why are you reacting like this? I just asked. Maybe your mom came over or someone else stopped by. I wasn't accusing you of anything. Because it always comes back to me being a cheater and a traitor. Always? That's not true. I don't think that way. Maybe you don't, but your wonderful friend Dominica sure does. I see how she looks at me. Wait, I think I get it now, he smacked his forehead. She wants to break us up because she's in love with me. Monica sat up in surprise. What? Dominica isn't like that. She loves her husband. That's ridiculous, I'd never believe it, Monica said firmly. Oh, so you trust your friend's loyalty completely, but you doubt mine? That's great to know, Federico said, clearly hurt. Monica felt ashamed. It did seem like she trusted someone else more than the person closest and dearest to her. Forgive me, Monica whispered as she leaned into her husband. You're right, I should trust you. Federico looked at her but said nothing. He just kissed her on the temple, signaling that he wasn't holding a grudge anymore. A few more months passed, and Monica began noticing changes in Federico. He started coming home late from work, leaving on weekends without giving clear explanations, and constantly carrying his phone with him. Sometimes he'd go to another room just to text. Monica stayed silent and endured it. Maybe he's planning a surprise for me. Our anniversary is coming up soon, she tried to console herself. But when their anniversary came, all she received was a simple bouquet of flowers. No special gifts or surprises. Monica felt Federico becoming distant, almost like a stranger. They no longer shared coffee in the evenings while watching a movie or series. He seemed to live in his phone and his thoughts. Determined to rekindle their bond, Monica planned a romantic dinner. But Federico didn't react. After some champagne and fruit, he went straight to bed, citing exhaustion. Monica was blindsided. The next morning, she planned to talk to him, but Federico left for work earlier than usual while she was still asleep. Dominica, hi. Monica's voice cracked as she called her friend. Can we meet? I really need to talk. Your husband acting up again? Dominica immediately guessed. Monica felt a pang of irritation and almost hung up, but then realized she had no one else to confide in. If she didn't talk about it, she'd explode from the tension and bottled up emotions. Let's talk in person. I need an outside perspective. All right, I'm off today, so we can meet anytime, Dominica replied, sensing her friend was on the verge of breaking down. They agreed to meet at a cafe near Dominica's house. Monica, also free for the day, decided not to delay and suggested they have breakfast together. Monica nearly ran to their meeting. She needed to vent and hear her friend's opinion. Deep down, she already knew what Dominica would say. Hey, you don't look so great, Dominica said bluntly as Monica arrived. What's going on this time? Hi. Can we skip the sarcasm, please? I really need your support and advice. I'm always here for you. But I'll warn you up front, I'm not ready to hear any more hymns in praise of your husband. He only evokes negative feelings in me. And the more I see, the stronger they get. Well, you're about to have even more of them, Monica admitted, before recounting everything that had happened in their relationship since her return from the business trip. Dominica listened quietly, not interrupting her friend. Her expression, however, changed multiple times throughout Monica's story. When Monica finished, Dominica calmly asked, "And what kind of advice are you expecting from me? I just don't understand." "I don't know," Monica admitted honestly. "Do you think he's seeing someone else?" Monica looked at her friend hopefully, longing to hear a reassuring, "No, of course not, you're imagining things." But from Dominica's expression, Monica knew she wouldn't get such an answer. Dominica had long warned her that Federico and loyalty didn't go hand in hand. "Monica, forgive me, but I'm going to tell you what I think, not what you want to hear," Dominica began, her tone tinged with sadness. It's obvious that he's seeing someone, and in my opinion, he's staying with you because it's convenient and beneficial for him. Yes, I can believe he loves you in his own way, but it's definitely not the way a real man should love his wife. If you want my honest opinion, I'd leave him. You're still young, and you have time to find your true partner. Living with someone who uses you isn't right. But I love him, Dominica. You know I've never loved anyone before. When I met Federico, I realized what it meant to love someone madly. How can I live without him? I won't be able to breathe, Monica said through her tears. It only feels that way, Dominica tried to soothe her. Yes, it'll be hard at first, but eventually you'll realize you're better off without him. And what if I don't realize that? What if he changes? Maybe, with time, he'll see that I'm the best thing for him and stay only with me. Sure, that could happen. But by the time he realizes it, you'll both be well into your 50s or even 60s. Are you willing to wait that long, patiently enduring his infidelities? Monica broke down into sobs, crying loudly. Other cafe patrons began turning to look at them. Monica, you need to pull yourself together, do you hear me? You can't go on like this. He's not worth your tears or your nerves. But Monica wasn't listening anymore. She cried bitterly, the pain overwhelming her. She already knew, deep down, that her husband was unfaithful. She could feel that he had changed, becoming distant, like a stranger. But Monica clung to denial whenever Federico was around. As soon as he became angry or hurt, Monica convinced herself it wasn't true, that nothing was happening, and that he truly loved her. Want some advice? Dominica asked when Monica finally calmed down a bit. What kind? How to test your Federico. Tell him you're leaving for a week-long business trip, then come back home on the evening of the second or third day, when he doesn't expect you. See where he is and who he's with. I'm scared, Monica admitted honestly. What if I come back and he's with another woman? I couldn't bear it. But then you'll catch him red-handed, and he won't be able to wiggle out of it. You need to decide for yourself what you want, to know the truth, or like an ostrich, bury your head in the sand and pretend everything's fine in your family. That's the problem, I don't know what I want, you understand? As long as I don't catch him, deep down I hope it's not true. But if I catch him with a lover, then there's no going back. That's why I'm telling you, decide for yourself what you really want. The friends sat for a little longer, finishing their coffee, then parted ways. Monica kept thinking about the conversation with her friend and couldn't figure out what she really wanted, to know the truth or to live in illusions. All of Monica's doubts were resolved the very next evening. She came home from work and heard laughter coming from the kitchen. Oh, we have guests, Monica exclaimed happily, as she loved having guests. I wonder who's here. Monica walked into the kitchen and froze in shock at the sight of her husband with some girl. There was a bottle of champagne and a box of chocolates on the table. What's going on here? Monica asked, surprised. Oh, Monica's home, Federico said drunkenly. You see, here's the thing. This is Annika, and she's going to live with us now. I don't understand, Monica said, more confused than ever. Well, let me explain. All men are polygamous, and one woman isn't enough for us. So Annika is my mistress, she's for the soul and the body, and you're for the household. Excuse me, who is this? Monica couldn't believe what she was hearing. Annika, Federico said calmly. I've heard the name. But I don't understand what role she's going to play in my apartment. I'm telling you, she's my mistress. Come on, think about it. Every man has a woman for the soul. Well, I have Annika. He took a sip of champagne and continued. Don't worry, I'm not giving up on my marital duties. I'll still come to your bedroom, let's say, once a week. This wasn't just rude. This was cruel. Monica couldn't stand it. She grabbed Annika's suitcase from the corner, along with her things that were lying on the couch, turned around, and walked to the hallway. Federico and Annika heard the suitcase hit the floor in the entrance. So here's the deal, Monica said angrily, returning to the kitchen. You have exactly 10 minutes to pack your things and leave, once and for all. What? You're kicking me out? Federico couldn't believe it. You can't do this. You love me. Where am I supposed to go at this hour? I can, very much so. In fact, I can't stand your disgusting behavior and attitude anymore, so pack your things and get the hell out of here with your for the soul, and preferably as quickly as possible, before I call my friends. Monica had friends who would quickly respond to her request to throw the cheater out of her apartment, and Federico knew this very well. In a hurry, he packed his things into a sports bag, while Annika stood in her underwear in the middle of the hallway. Federico suddenly realized that the girl couldn't go outside like that and tossed her his shorts and a t-shirt. Put this on for now. 15 minutes later, Monica slammed the door behind them and locked it with a special lock. She checked the time. 8:30. It wasn't too late to call Dominica. I kicked him out, Monica said quietly into the phone, but her friend heard her. Congratulations. What did he do? He brought his mistress home and said she would live with us. Can you imagine? She's for his soul, and I'm just, for the household. Monica went silent. A lump rose in her throat, and she started crying, then hung up. Dominica was a good friend. She immediately made arrangements with her husband to look after their child, grabbed a bottle of martini, and rushed over to her friend. Dominica knew she couldn't leave Monica alone in that state. She needed her friend's support. The two friends spent the entire night together. They cried, and they laughed. By morning, Monica was completely exhausted, and Dominica tucked her into bed. After calling her husband to check that everything was fine at home, she started cleaning up the apartment to remove all traces of her friend's irresponsible husband's presence. Monica woke up around noon. By that time, Dominica had already made lunch. Get up, sleepyhead, it's time for breakfast, or maybe lunch, I don't know, Dominica smiled. What would I do without you? Monica said honestly. You'd suffer, what else? Dominica smiled back. While I was cleaning, I was thinking. You need to renovate and go somewhere to relax, at least for a week. You need a change of scenery. Where would I go? You know I'm not much of a traveler, Monica said. You could go to a resort or a spa. Somewhere in the woods, ideally, with no internet. Take a couple of good books and go. It's really essential for you right now. Monica looked at her friend and nodded in agreement. Dominica was right again. Monica really did need to go somewhere, even if just for a short time, to process everything that had happened, to accept the situation, and to prepare herself for the difficult task of living on her own, considering how attached she was to Federico. Hey, do you remember Casimiro Jerez? Dominica suddenly asked. Not really. What happened to him? Nothing happened. He just has his own travel agency. Maybe he can help you with booking a trip? Oh, I feel awkward. We haven't talked since school. So much time has passed. And now I'm like, hey, Casimiro, sell me a cheaper vacation package, right? Listen, forget those words. Don't feel awkward, it's fine. How much did you lend him for notes in school? It's nothing, really. Let him repay the debt with a vacation package, Dominica laughed. I can't do it like you, Monica smiled. This is the end of the world. How can you be so modest and shy? Dominica scolded her friend. I'll just call him myself. She confidently grabbed the phone and dialed Casimiro's number. Casimiro, hey, it's Dominica Granados, she said. How's life? Casimiro responded, asking questions. Dominica laughed, replied, and asked questions too. At the end of the conversation, she said, Do you remember our Monica well? Casimiro said something, and Dominica looked at Monica in surprise. Unexpected. Anyway, she urgently needs a vacation package to somewhere remote, but with comfortable conditions. You know, she's like a delicate flower. Can you help? Dominica smiled and looked at her friend again. Great, we'll be at your office in an hour. No, in 2. Monica waved her hands, clearly showing that she wasn't going anywhere. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Quickly, take a shower and get yourself together. Then we'll have lunch and head to Casimiro's office, Dominica ordered in a commanding tone and added, Did you know Casimiro was in love with you in school? Monica almost tripped from the surprise. Casimiro was in love with me? Are you joking? Or is this some way to boost my self-esteem? No, I'm not joking. He told me himself just now. I was surprised too. Well, that's one way to surprise someone. Monica went to take a shower. 2 hours later, they arrived at the travel agency office. Casimiro was standing at the door, talking to a man. When he saw the classmates, he excused himself and quickly walked over to the school friends. Hey, girls. Long time no see. He kissed them on the cheek one by one. Okay, be careful. Monica is getting a divorce, and I'm married, and my husband is insanely jealous. You're getting a divorce? Casimiro asked, surprised. Is your husband blind or something? Monica blushed and turned away. Dominica tugged on Casimiro's sleeve, signaling him to change the subject. Let's go to the office and see where we can send you in the near future. Casimiro changed the subject of the conversation. There was nothing that fit Dominica's requests for Monica. The closest trip was planned in 3 weeks. No, that's too long. She needs to go somewhere right now, Dominica insisted. There's also a guest house, but it's more for older people. It's mostly couples over 40 or people of the same age. Monica would probably get bored there. That's a perfect option. Simply amazing, Dominica said excitedly. No one will hit on her, and she can relax, recharge, and gather her thoughts. How much is it, and how many days is the trip? At least 10 days, but it's unbelievably beautiful there and very peaceful. It's a great place to restore your energy. Just make sure to bring plenty of books with you. Great, we'll take it, Dominica said, pulling out her wallet. Dominica, wait, I can pay for myself, Monica tried to intervene. I'm still not sure if I want to go. Don't interfere, Dominica said firmly. This is a gift from me for your future birthday, and you're going, no discussion. Then I also want to contribute, Casimiro said. I'll give you a 30% discount as a gift. Perfect, Dominica said happily. When is the departure? The day after tomorrow, by bus, Casimiro replied. At 9 a.m. from Central Square. Great, she's going, Dominica made the final decision for her friend. Dominica noticed how Casimiro was looking at Monica. But her friend clearly didn't care. It wasn't the right mood for Monica to pay attention to such things. Besides, she had never seriously thought about Casimiro, so the guy had almost no chance. Such a pity, he's a nice guy. Dominica took Monica home, helped her pack, and told her that she would stay with her until the departure. Dominica, I can stay at my place. Why are you pampering me like a child? I don't want to hear it, Dominica said firmly. Federico will show up, try to feed you more lies, and you'll melt and let him back in. No, and again, no. You'll stay with me, and the day after tomorrow, I'll take you to the bus and send you to the guest house. Do you really think I'll be able to forgive him after what he did? Monica was surprised. You know, dear, loving women forgive their husbands for worse things. You need to cool down so your brain kicks in and your heart shuts off. Then you'll start thinking clearly, and I'll be at ease about you. Fine, Monica agreed. She knew perfectly well that arguing with Dominica was pointless. Grabbing a couple of books from the shelf and glancing around the apartment, Monica took her suitcase and left with her friend. At the designated time, Dominica brought Monica to Central Square. A neat bus was already waiting for its passengers. Monica had one of the first seats on the bus. She entered and sat down in her place. Dominica came in with her, kissed her on the cheek, wished her a good rest, and left for home. The journey to the guest house took about 3 hours. Monica loved traveling by bus, especially when she had a front seat where the road was clearly visible and she didn't have to peek around the passengers sitting in front of her. She looked ahead and enjoyed the ride. Meanwhile, various thoughts crossed her mind. About Federico, their meeting and family life, her dreams and ideas about family in her youth, about what had come true and what remained a dream. If she pushed aside the recent events, things hadn't always been bad between them. There had been good and happy moments when her husband was caring, attentive, and loving. At what point and where did it all go? Monica thought. Maybe I'm to blame for him becoming like this, even though I tried my best to please him and be a good wife. Monica's thoughts were interrupted by the driver's voice. Dear passengers, we will arrive at the destination in 5 minutes. Please check your seats to make sure you haven't forgotten anything. The bus entered a parking lot near a small 2-story building. The guest house was located in a pine forest. When Monica stepped off the bus, she immediately inhaled the wonderful pine scent. Her luggage consisted of only a suitcase with clothes and a small backpack with documents, a wallet, and a phone. Monica confidently followed the other passengers. There were about 12 of them, no more. And just as Casimiro had said, everyone was over 40. But Monica wasn't bothered by this at all. She had a different goal for her rest. A man in his 50s offered to help the young woman with her suitcase, but she politely declined. Thank you, but it has wheels, I can manage, Monica smiled. She was settled on the first floor in a double room. This was also a gift from Casimiro. The room was a suite, and it wasn't easy to get into it otherwise. But Monica was lucky, and at the moment, the room was vacant, waiting for special guests. Monica really liked it here. A luxurious room with natural wood interior. Monica smiled to herself and jumped onto the bed. She stared at the ceiling and thought about how fortunate she was to have a friend like Dominica. It was really important for her to be alone with herself and reassess her relationship with her husband. There was a knock at the door, and Monica opened it. The concierge stood on the threshold. Good afternoon, we invite you to lunch. He handed Monica a sheet with a schedule of meal times and additional services available at the guest house. She was quite pleased to see the presence of a massage room. Since she would be staying here for 10 days, she would have enough time to go through a course of massages. Thank you, she thanked the guy. By the way, where can I sign up for a massage? At the reception, he answered with a smile. Great. Do I have about 10 minutes before lunch? Monica asked. Yes, of course, lunch is from 1 to 2 p.m., any time that's convenient for you. All right. Thanks again. She closed the door and went to the bathroom. After a quick shower, Monica changed clothes and headed out to find the dining room. It was more of a mini restaurant or a cafe, definitely not a cafeteria. Monica looked around, deciding where to sit, and noticed an empty table by the window. Each table had 2 chairs, meaning that only 2 people could sit at one table at most. I like everything here more and more, Monica thought to herself, smiling. She placed her phone on the chosen table and went to serve herself lunch. She was almost done eating when a man walked into the room, and for some reason, he caught Monica's attention. He seemed somewhat lost, maybe? Monica studied him closely. He was dressed in soft pants and a sweater, wearing moccasins. He looked more like a guest than a member of the staff. The only thing that stood out was his age. He was younger than the main group of vacationers. Strange, he's clearly under 40. Maybe he works here and just came out to eat? Monica thought. She wasn't sure what had drawn her attention to him, but she continued watching him, even after finishing her meal. It was quite possible that Monica had sensed something about him, something that mirrored her own feelings. The man grabbed a vegetable salad and coffee, ate quickly, and left, taking his coffee cup with him. Monica cleared her table and went out to the lobby. After a moment's thought, she decided to take a walk around the surrounding grounds and enjoy the magical pine scent. She slowly made her way deeper into the park when suddenly she heard some noise. Looking around, she saw the strange man sitting on the ground, holding his leg. "Do you need help?" she asked, walking closer. "No, thank you, I'm fine," the man replied gruffly, without even looking at her. "Are you sure?" Monica asked again. "Absolutely." Monica silently turned around and walked away. Very strange, she concluded. Not only in appearance, but inside too. Although, maybe it's a defensive reaction, and he just hates women. She had been walking for about an hour when suddenly she felt an overwhelming fatigue and a strong desire to sleep. Without thinking much, Monica turned around and headed back to her room. She fell asleep as soon as she lay down on the bed. Fresh air really does wonders. In the evening, after dinner, she decided to take another walk. Monica walked, thinking about Federico, admiring the tall, beautiful pines, and accidentally stumbled, falling onto one knee. She immediately heard a voice above her head. "Don't take bad examples from me." Monica looked up and saw the strange man. "Excuse me, what did you say?" "I said, you shouldn't take after me and fall for no reason." He extended his hand to her, but Monica pushed it away and stood up on her own. The stranger's voice was incredibly pleasant, and it didn't quite match his grumpy appearance. "I wasn't trying to imitate you, I just got distracted looking around, and this is the price I paid for it," Monica said calmly. At that moment, her phone rang. She looked at the screen. It was Federico. I should have blocked him, Monica thought, but answered anyway, continuing to sit on the grass. "Yes, what do you want?" "Monica, can we meet and talk?" "It's really important," Federico began. The stranger, who had already been about to leave, unexpectedly turned around when he heard Monica's words and looked at her in surprise. "Why? So you can sing me your love songs again? I don't believe in them anymore. Sing them to your mistress now, I've had enough. I swear. I realized I made a mistake and I need only you. Let me come back home." Tears welled up in Monica's eyes. She so desperately wanted to believe his words again. Her heart ached with feelings for her husband. But at that very moment, she heard Annika's voice. "Darling, hurry up. How much longer do we have to wait?" Monica, at the moment when she was almost ready to agree to the meeting, suddenly jumped to her feet and shouted into the phone. "Go to hell. Don't ever call me again." She hung up and threw the phone somewhere into the grass. The strange man, who had been standing nearby the whole time, looked at Monica with surprise and interest. "I'm sorry, of course, this is none of my business." Monica didn't let him finish. "It's none of your business, go on your way." The stranger ignored Monica's sharp response and continued. "But you can't talk like that, it's simply rude." Monica shot him an angry look. "What, do you have nothing better to do? Did you come here to relax? Then relax, and don't bother others. Do you always talk to people like this, or did I just get lucky?" "No, not always. Only when people annoy me or give unsolicited advice without understanding what's really going on." "Then tell me," the man unexpectedly suggested. "You don't know me at all. I don't know you either. Maybe if you tell me, you won't be so angry?" Monica initially wanted to snap back at him, but then she thought that talking to a complete stranger, especially a man, might actually be useful. He could give his perspective on the situation. She stepped closer and extended her hand. "Then let's start by introducing ourselves. My name's Monica. I'm in the process of getting a divorce." The man extended his hand in return and gave it a firm, almost masculine handshake. "I'm Ramon. A widower." Monica suddenly felt uneasy. She even flinched. "My condolences," she said sincerely. "Thank you. It's all right now. I can talk about it calmly. It's been 3 years." Monica fell silent. She suddenly felt embarrassed and even ashamed for thinking so poorly of this man. He wasn't strange, he was just lost. And now it was obvious. Like a little child who has gotten lost and is searching for their family. "Is this your first time here?" Monica asked, trying to shift the conversation in another direction. "No, the second time. My friend sent me here last year and again this year. He knows what I've been through." "I understand," Monica smiled. "I'm here at the suggestion of a friend too. Sorry if I'm prying, but why are you getting divorced? Family is the most important thing in life. I used to think so too and tried to save it till the very end, but unfortunately, my husband had a completely different opinion." And Monica told Ramon how Federico had brought his mistress into their home and what he had said at the time. "Don't get upset with me, okay? But I'll say this, he just didn't love you. A loving man would never hurt his woman. Never. You did the right thing by kicking them both out, and don't even think about forgiving him. He won't change." "Yes, I already realized that on my own." "How long were you together?" "Almost 6 years. That's quite a long time. It's a shame about the lost years, but don't be upset. I'm sure everything will work out for you in the future." "You sound just like my friend," Monica smiled. "Because that's how it should be. You truly loved someone, tried with all your might to save your family, and he crushed it all. You're not to blame for what happened. There are people who are incapable of loving, and you clearly are capable, so your love will come to you as a reward for all you've been through. You know, I doubt I'll ever be able to believe in love again or trust a man," Monica said honestly. "That's the hurt and pain speaking right now. When the time comes, you'll believe and trust again, don't doubt it." They continued walking through the park and talking for a long time. Monica enjoyed her conversations with this man. He told her that his wife had passed away from cancer, how they fought together to save her, but fate couldn't be changed, and she died. Ramon still couldn't believe his beloved was gone. Monica listened to how he spoke about his late wife and realized that only a truly loving man could talk that way. If only someone could ever love me like that, a thought flashed through Monica's mind. But, of course, she didn't say anything like that. From that day on, they communicated and walked together every day, and before they knew it, they had become friends. Monica found it interesting to hear a man's perspective on relationships, a real man, not a womanizer who lives with a woman for his own benefit and pleasure without thinking of others. They talked about hobbies, interests, their parents and friends, life values, and priorities. They found it incredibly easy to talk to each other, and neither of them wanted to part ways. When it was time for Ramon to leave, Monica was very upset. His trip was ending 2 days before hers. They exchanged addresses and phone numbers, but Monica felt like they would never meet again, and that thought made her feel sad and lonely. "I finally found someone I can connect with." And just like that, he appears and disappears, Monica thought with frustration. That evening, she called Dominica and told her about her new acquaintance. "Why do you think you won't see him again?" her friend asked, surprised. "I don't know, he lives too far away. He has his own life, work, family, friends. Why would he want to listen to my complaints and problems? Maybe we'll call each other sometimes, but you know, it's not the same kind of communication." "I agree, of course. But don't be sad yet. No one knows how things will turn out." Monica's vacation came to an end, and she headed home. On the way back, she couldn't stop thinking about Ramon. Being with him felt so easy and peaceful, interesting and engaging. During their time together, Monica had learned that Ramon was a lawyer and ran his own law firm. "Maybe I should ask him to help me with the divorce paperwork?" Monica smiled to herself. Well, there's a reason for it. As soon as she returned home, Monica filed for divorce the very next day. She no longer wanted anything to do with Federico. "You can congratulate me, I'm a free woman now. Congratulations from the bottom of my heart." Did he try to reconcile? Fortunately, no. It was quiet and quick. "We need to celebrate your freedom," Dominica suggested. Definitely. But let's do it tomorrow. After all, it's Friday. It'll be easier to meet up and celebrate. Hey, what's the celebration? Can I join you? Monica heard a familiar voice and turned around. There was Ramon, standing in front of her with a huge bouquet of tulips. It was so surprising. Usually, men give roses, but here was a magnificent bouquet of tulips. Monica was overjoyed to see him. Without hesitation, she threw herself into his arms. Hey, what are you doing here? I'm so happy to see you. You gave me your address. I thought I'd drop by to visit, as a friend. Is that okay? He smiled and handed Monica the flowers. Of course, it's okay, Monica blushed. Let's go home. Why stand here in the middle of the street? Ramon grabbed his bag and obediently followed Monica. From that day on, they never parted again. Monica moved in with Ramon and found a job in his city. 6 months later, they got married, and 8 months after that, they had a daughter, whom they named Agnes. Ramon and Monica's meeting brought both of them back to life, and now they knew the true value of love and family.
If you're enjoying it as well, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.